Welcome back. Oil prices are lower this morning. Take a look. We're back below $93 a barrel on crude, down 3 1/3% right now at $92.80. That's down $3.18 a barrel. Investors weighing increased tensions potentially in the Middle East. Iran's latest round of drone strikes hit Kuwait's international airport yesterday. The president, however, maintains the deal could happen between the U.S. and Iran even over the weekend, he said yesterday. Now, new government data shows nationwide petroleum stockpiles fell for 8 straight weeks. That is the longest decline since early 2022. Joining me now is EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. Great to see you, Lee. Thank you so much for being here. What is your take on those declining stockpiles of oil right now? How should we be viewing that?
Well, I think that in the spirit of unleashing energy dominance, there's great enthusiasm with new pipeline projects that the president has been advancing. There are a lot of plants that were scheduled to get closed the president has kept open. We see it on the nuclear front with new small modular reactors, new builds. On the oil and gas side at the EPA, we have been advancing a number of actions on Quad OBC related to methane and flaring. It's a top priority for the industry. We also, as part of the National Energy Dominance Council, have been engaged with other nations, and what we've seen in the Indo-Pacific, which it looks like it's going to be a very big benefit of what is happening in the Middle East, is that you have a lot of these Indo-Pacific countries looking to diversify their supply chain like never before. They're realizing how long it takes them to be able to get their sources from the Middle East, that they don't have freedom of navigation, but they could get it faster from the U.S. with what has always been total freedom of navigation. So the strategic look midterm, long-term, that decision that's being made by these other countries, that will help as well. So I'm very bullish about where this is going to be going once the conflict is over.
Well, definitely. We have a lot of positives to look at once, in fact, we get out of this conflict. But Lee, I want to get your take on where Congress is on all of this, because there's a permitting bill out there, and we know that there are a number of things to get done. The president has done so much on executive order, but don't we need to see the permitting bill get codified so that, in fact, some of these things stick even beyond President Trump?
Yeah, for durability, changing federal statute to have a permitting process that takes less time, costs less money, and has more certainty, that's key. We can modernize the Clean Air Act. There's ways to modernize the Clean Water Act, NEPA, Endangered Species Act. The House has advanced and even passed some legislation. The Senate certainly seems motivated in that chamber that requires 60 votes. So hopefully they're able to punch victories over the finish line there. Actually, it'd be helpful if there were more Republicans in that chamber. This process would be easier, and we'd see a whole bunch of permitting bills getting to the president's desk. There actually aren't enough conservatives there in that chamber right now, but we need to advance the ball as much as possible. But as you pointed out, President Trump, at Trump speed, with his administration, doing everything in our power to help make sure that the trillions of dollars of investments, ground is being broken all across the country, that money's being spent, that people believe in America, and that they're able to get this stuff done as fast as possible.
Yeah, I also love what the administration has done in terms of the Everglades restoration. I know the Trump administration celebrating 500 days in office today, and this morning giving Florida Everglades agricultural area $2 billion. This is being called the largest environmental restoration in American history. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis told me about it on Sunday. Watch this.
I mean, look, we've had inflation, we've had population growth, but look at Florida's state budget. We're doing massive things. Everglades restoration is the largest environmental restoration in the history of the U.S. Massive infrastructure investments, increasing teacher pay. We're doing all of that, and yet we're still reducing our overall budget. So it can be done. We've worked very good with President Trump. He's been amazing for Florida, just on Everglades. No one even talks about it, and it's literally the biggest restoration in history, and that would not have been possible had he not supported us.
Tell us about the Everglades restoration, Lee.
It really is a big deal, and it proves that you can protect the environment and also grow the economy. The Everglades are so important from the environmental standpoint. You have 36 endangered, threatened species, including the Florida panther. To be able to deliver 120 billion gallons per year of fresh water to the Everglades is important. It helps with the benefit to the aquifer and for millions of Floridians with their drinking water. It helps to combat harmful algae blooms, and this investment, which is substantial. You're talking about multiple billions of dollars of federal investment and also a reduced timeline. It really checks all of the boxes of cooperative federalism at its finest, federal government working with state and local on an important environmental and economic priority for Florida.
Yeah, this is a big deal. I wanted to make sure that we understood fully what has taken place here. But, Lee, the president is also making a renewed push to support coal and American coal facilities, planning to use a Cold War-era national defense power to use nearly $700 million in upgrading more than a dozen coal power plants. Lee, what can you tell us?
President Trump has saved clean, beautiful coal in this country. Plants all across this country were slated to close. From President Obama to President Biden, the message to coal miners was that they needed to learn the code. You have so many states where this is their source of reliable, durable power. It's important to heat their homes. It's important for jobs and the economy. And the president has been reversing all of that. At EPA, there's been a whole lot of different deregulatory efforts that we've been pursuing very smartly on all sorts of what it was more than a triangulation of the Biden EPA. There were all sorts of regulations seeking to strangulate out of existence coal. And we're reversing all of that. And again, we're doing it smartly with a public comment period, but to make sure that people have access to this reliable, durable source of baseload power. Department of Energy, Department of Interior, Department of Commerce, all across this administration, agencies working together with this president to deliver on his directive and what Americans voted for in the Trump mandate.
Meanwhile, Lee, you're unleashing new steps to end animal testing using new policies focused on expanding the use of advanced research methods, relying on human cells, computer modeling, and other cutting-edge technologies. Tell us about that.
That's right. We need to stop all of this animal testing that we've seen for so long in the federal government. That is not necessary. There are now new technologies that are coming online that are better alternative methods. So it allows us to continue this phase out, to eliminate animal testing at EPA and elsewhere in government. So this week we announced 13 new approach methods, new technologies that have been vetted that are better for protecting human health and the environment, for gold standard science. We're excited to do it. To do our part that we know is a very big priority for a lot of Americans.
Yes, it sure is, Lee. Great leadership on your part. Thanks for being here this morning, Lee. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria.
All right, Lee Zeldin joining us. Stay with us. We want to talk about what's going on in California. We'll be right back with that.